Hey everyone, Angelo here, Hollywood filmmaker, greatest screenwriter in the history of the world, recovering homeless guy, walking through the god-awful rumble and thunder of West LA, under the, which freeway is this above me? I'm not sure. It's either the 10 or the 405. They both cross through here, I believe, around here. It's such a nice metro ride over the trains. The train was packed. They should run it more often. But everyone was so pleasant, and just the conversation I could hear, it was just quiet and thoughtful. You could tell these are commuters. These are people with somewhere to go. And they made the great choice to take the metro instead of driving. But then I step out and look what I'm surrounded by. Massive road, pedestrians here. We get this little strip of concrete or asphalt, whatever you call it, and then you have this massive raised up infrastructure. Freeway above me, and it doesn't have nearly the capacity of trains or buses or bike lanes. There you have the train. But people often don't think about that, especially drivers. They're so used to the way they get around. They think, well, this is just normal. This is how it is. The truth is, that's how you've been conditioned. You can be conditioned to think anything is normal. You create neural pathways in your brain through repeatedly being exposed to something or some procedure you engage in, and you're not like coming up with the thought that cars are normal, like as some independent, rigorous study you've done. That's a thought that's been put in your head by the car industry. They want you to think that. Like, how does it feel to simp for the car industry, knowing they're making our cities so much more congested, noisy, unhealthy, and deadly? The financial burden, not just of cars, but of all this infrastructure. Somebody I just saw, it was so interesting in a debate about mobility. They said, why is it that the streets are free to use, but transit isn't? When transit is so much more beneficial, and we should be encouraging it, and it's so much more cost effective than just driving. It makes cities so much healthier and happier, and gets so many more people to their jobs or to the places they want to go. We don't think about that, so it feels normal, and we don't question it. Well, we should question it, because we can make cities better. Even when I was a driver, I was being tuned into this. I remember having this discussion with a friend in 2019, where I was seeing videos that really were turning me on to the idea that self-driving cars will not eliminate traffic, that the real way forward is through public transportation and trains. And I remember thinking that made me feel a little uncomfortable. Like, oh man, do I have to have a future where to beat traffic and this awful noise and just depressing? Look at, what is this place? Anything? I believe these are called liminal places, meaning it could be anywhere. You're just nowhere, basically. Just white, gray, beige. Nothing lively. And meanwhile, we're paying for all these streets, all the utilities that run under the streets, the repaving, because cars wear down the streets so much faster than pedestrians and cyclists. And yet, where's the traffic? It's intermittent, it comes and goes, and then it very quickly gets to capacity and gets backed up. So if you like driving, if you want to drive, you should absolutely support separated bike paths, infrastructure for metro, for trains, for streetcars, for buses, bus lanes, because that gets so many more people moving so quickly. It makes the cost of living go down, and it makes driving much more pleasant. So you also don't need these huge streets. You can have one-lane roads, even one-way roads to get around, where you may be going slower, but you're actually going faster, like you're getting to your destinations quicker because you're not going in the stop-start of stoplights. Think about it, stoplights are not normal everywhere. A lot of places have intersections that are well designed so you don't need them. They have roundabouts, or traffic circles, or chicanes, or whatever you'd like to call them. They have architecture that actually funnels people through areas instead of making you go through the stop-start of stoplights and stop signs. And they don't make drivers all competition for each other and competition with pedestrians, as I am now as this Prius turns. So I mention all this because there are probably elections going on where you live. There's an election by where I live in Culver City, where we have 3 very progressive candidates, Bubba, Nancy, and Yasmin, and 3 conservative candidates. They paint themselves as progressives in many ways. They're not. They're essentially pro-car industry, pro-corporate. Boy, they make themselves sound progressive, though. They learned, like, it's important to, except sometimes when they absolutely, like, yield to the worst white supremacist elements of cop worship and upholding police violence and the police being prioritized with the budget instead of services. Remember, Culver City used to be a sundown town. Who the hell's calling me? Where black people could not even drive through at night. They knew, do not drive around there, because the police will mess you up there. So, look at this. I'm confused because I'm like, this number, it might be something I need to get. Anyways, I can get to it after this video. But anyways, as I'm making my way through the area, I'm just seeing what potential it has and how barren it is now. Here's what you have: parking. You have some shops here, beautiful little shops, but where's the humanity, the life? Because there's not much space here to actually accommodate, like, people on buses. There's no metro here. This street's wide enough for bus lanes, bike lanes, a metro. It could be an elevated train, although depending, I don't know if it would conflict with the highway and elevated train down there. Tear down the city freeways and highways. Make the freeways go to the end of the city, and then when you're in the city, you should be able to get around however you need. Ridiculously huge this street is. Where's the traffic? So we overbuilt all this infrastructure to pay for millions of dollars worth of cars, or to support the car industry. I mean, it's billions, but the cost in healthcare, the first responders who have to show up at crashes, the 100 or so people a day in America who die in car crashes, the pain and suffering of the people who go through crashes, or if they die, their families who grieve them and their friends. And for what? And people have such cognitive dissonance. They can see all this. They can see, oh, maybe there's some problem here, and say people. The problem is homeless people on the trains. You guys don't know what you're talking about. If you want to get streets healthy, happy, this is stressful, like make for less stressful streets, more healthy, joyous streets. You want progressive policies. You want homeless people to be housed, and you wouldn't even admit they were progressive. You'd be like, oh, no. This is, like, once you see how great they are, these policies, and how people get around so much more quickly, if you see how cities around the world do this, where they house people, and no city's perfect, but where they have supportive social housing, where they have abundant mass transportation, where they don't prioritize the car industry as much. I mean, the car industry has their fingers everywhere. You wouldn't think of it in terms of conservative, liberal, or progressive. I don't even respect liberal, but progressive. You just think, oh, this is awesome. Because there are conservatives who come out to seek La Via and who rollerblade and who love it, who feel the joy of it. So try it 1 or 2 days a week, not even a whole day, just take a trip without your car. Try walking, and better yet, do it with somebody else. That makes it so much more fun. But this is stressful. It's like, I'm not depressed, but it's depressing. Like, it is such a downward pressure on my mood. This is so barren and inhospitable. We design our city wrong, and we can design it right. For all, bikes do so much for the environment. Anyways, I just wanted to share my thoughts. It's probably nothing new for some of you, but going through so much, doing a lot of writing, trying to get my life, centered and healthy and happy, as I've been going through some DPDR, but it's getting better. I know I'll be completely recovered, and a lot to look forward to. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye.